Okay, we will call this meeting to order. It is 10 o'clock on the dot. We'll do an attendance of the board members. Amy Cavish present.
Andy Burbick.
Thank you. And we are missing John Garrity today, but in his stead is Karen Kravitz. So thank you, Karen, for being here. So we do have a quorum with board members, so we can proceed forward. Can I get an approval of the agenda, please? Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Thank you. I guess I will second it,
Sure.
and since there's only two of us in attendance here that can vote on it, so the approval of the agenda has been approved. Can I get an approval of the minutes from January 10th, please? Candy?
So moved.
Thank you. I will second it. And since both of us are here and John is not, we will approve the agenda unanimously from January 10th of 2025. Moving on to public comments. I'm just going to ask that we go around the room and everybody can just kind of state who our guest participants are, starting with Norma, please.
Norma Thomas, investigator, probate court.
Thank you.
Greg Barton, magistrate for the probate court.
Aaron DeBoard, court manager, probate court.
Megan Hardy, investigator, probate court.
Kaylee Lafferty, fiscal officer.
Kayla Butcher, case manager with the guardianship support.
Thank you very much. Okay, do we have any public comments that need to be addressed? Hearing none, we will move on to the financial report from Diana.
Thank you. So the financial report that I gave you this time, it looks like this. It's different than the normal format, but I didn't put it in the normal format because it's the first 2 months and we really hadn't received that much information. So I'll just give you a brief overview. Of the $290,000 of budgeted income, none of that had come in yet, but I was told by Karen Kravitz earlier today that the $100,000 from Mental Health Recovery Board was issued on Friday the 28th, so that will be coming in to us probably sometime this week. And I know I've talked with John Benetti about the $100,000 from Port HDD, and we got the MOU executed for 2025 that supported that payment, so we should be receiving that at any time as well. The $40,000 from Jobs and Family Services has been approved. We did execute the MOU for 2025, securing that funding amount for this year, but it's invoiced. It's not given to us in a lump sum. So as we invoice it per client referral throughout the year, we will exhaust that $40,000. For example, in 2024, they pledged $34,000, and we did invoice that entire $34,000 by December 31st. The $50,000 that we requested of the Board of Commissioners is still pending. I had a talk with Jackie, the county's fiscal director, last week, and she said that the board is still in the process of assessing how much they have in carryover funds from 2024, and they were going to utilize the carryover funds to pay our $50,000 request and a couple of other requests that they had addressed in the budget proper for 2025. So she expects by the end of this month or the first part of April, that should be addressed. She feels like the board is still committed to doing that. We do have one new board member on the Board of Commissioners, but the two that remained on the Board of Commissioners had both indicated their support for it at the time we presented it and in December. So we'll keep you posted on that. With respect to the probate court's funding that at our last board meeting we talked about, that was going to be pursued by our agency filing an annual fee request against the indigency fund. And so that would have been filed on the anniversary date of the completion of each year of service. However, since that time, the probate court has since decided that for sake of simplicity and just streamlining it, the court is going to pledge $25,000 out of the indigency fund that can be allocated to our agency. They are drafting up a new MOU that will memorialize that. As of this meeting, that MOU hadn't been finished yet. But Kaylee Lafferty, the court's fiscal officer, advised me that that's still in the works, so we expect by the next board meeting that'll be ready for the board's review and approval. But that's how funding from the court is now being approached. So in terms of expenses year to date, those have been fairly minor. We have a total of funds expended so far of $46,020.07. That's comprised of mileage reimbursement, the cost of our mobile phones, software payments for e-guardianship, and supplies. That totaled $2,671.22. And then we had salaries and benefits that totaled $43,348.85. So the combined total expenses for the first 2 months was $46,020.07. If you take our annualized expenses, which we have in the budget, that was $288,255.70 divided by 12. For 2 months, we would be expected to have spent $48,042.61. We're under that by about $2,022. So for the first 2 months of the year, we're under budget by a couple $1,000. So that's good. We're on track. But we'll have a better breakdown for next month's budget report. But just to let you know, we're on track. We're still waiting to get all of our income in. But we're expecting to be on target for the year. Okay, so that's pretty much all from the financial report standpoint. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about any of those things. Yes, no?
I do not have any questions.
Motion to approve financial report, please.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Since all are in favor, the budget report through February 28th of 2025 is hereby approved.
Thank you. So because it deals with finances, I'm going to skip to the back of the packet. We have a memorandum of understanding from the law firm of Rischitelli and Polos. Bob Rischitelli and George Polos have agreed to represent GSB whenever our agency needs to have an attorney in court with us for a contested proceeding. That's happened 2 times in December to date. Minor appearances, but nevertheless, we have a brief MOU that's attached at the back that I'm requesting the board's approval of. And then there was an invoice submitted for one case that they did make appearances on our behalf, and I would ask that the board also approve that invoice, which totaled $512.50. We have $10,000 in the budget for attorney's fees, so it's well under the resources that we have set aside for that. So with the board's permission, unless you have any questions, I'd ask for a motion to approve both the MOU and the invoice.
Do you need any further time to consider it?
No, so moved.
Okay, and I second, so
Okay.
therefore, that has been approved, the MOU with Rischitelli's office and also the invoice for the guardianship of Ann Kim.
Thank you. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers it for financial things. Let me get into the operations overview a little bit. I think some of you probably know that in the last 3 months, we've had a lot of our wards pass away and a couple of prospective wards pass away. So we've lost about 9 people in the last 3 months. We're filing another notice of death of ward today. So whereas in last month's report, we had 56 wards that we were serving, currently we have 52 wards that we are serving. As a result, we're also going to be losing a couple of our appointments because one of our wards who's in Stark County, we transferred the guardianship to Stark County. We have asked Coleman, who runs a guardianship program in Stark County, to take over that case. They did file an application for successor appointment, and that hearing is going to be on March 25th. So that case is going to go away, and then we have another case where we recently became guardian, but 2 family members have stepped up and filed an application to become the successor, so we're going to lose that case as well. So our 52 is going to go down to 50. We do have some pending hearings, but I think in a couple of those, people have indicated that they may be filing for our appointment as well. So yes, we have 7 cases for pending hearings, but not all of those are going to result in us being appointed. So to date, we've received 76 guardianship referrals. We have filed 73 applications total since we started doing business less than 2 years ago. As I mentioned, we have 52 total appointments, presently 51 of those in Portage County, 1 in Stark County. We have 7 hearings that are pending. There are 3 active guardianship referrals. Those are cases that we received as referrals, but we haven't filed applications yet. 2 of those is because we don't have a statement of expert evaluation. And I know we've talked about, filing a statement with the court requesting that an independent evaluation be ordered, but we haven't taken that step yet. So that's still kind of in limbo. Of our current cases involving outpatient treatment, we have 1 still active in that category. So as our visits are concerned, in January we made 74 visits to our wards. In February it was 69. Guardianship miles driven, we drove 881 miles in January. In February, 1,102 miles. Oftentimes I'm called to go to Cleveland, or I do weekly trips to Stark County because we have a ward there that's on AOT that I have to see in person every week. So, that has resulted in some more mileage. I mean, actually the mileage is about, the 1102 is in line with what we were doing with 3 of us doing visits. So, in terms of public guardianships, the public guardianships are the ones where either GSB is appointed to serve or the court has appointed an attorney to serve. It's not a family member serving. So there's 79 total public guardianships right now. Of those in Portage County, we have 51 of them, so that basically means we have 2/3 of all the public guardianship cases. Of course, when we started doing business in June of 2023, we didn't have any of them. So we've gone from 0 to 66% of all the public guardianship cases now. There are a total of 629 adult guardianship cases in Portage County as of the end of last year. So that has gone up as well. So that's kind of the operations overview. I know the board has been interested in finding out about our referrals and where the referrals are coming from. So I did this little chart which tells you that for February and January each we received 3 referrals. Considering where we were a year ago in January of 2024, we were receiving 4 to 6 referrals a month at least. So now we're down to about 3 a month. I don't anticipate that that's going to increase hugely. You can see that 2 of those have come from Coleman, 2 have come from APS, 1 has come from the court, and 1 came from a care facility. So I think this is probably going to be more of the norm going forward, but I'll continue to provide this report so you guys can see how those referrals are coming into us.
And on this one, Diana, did Gardens actually reach out to you directly for the
They
one that
filed
says-
the, yeah.
They filed?
Right. Yeah, it was in January. So with respect to that, nursing home referrals that we had discussed at the last meeting, I have a draft letter that's in your packet. This was a letter that I proposed to send to nursing homes going forward when they send us a referral, saying that we have a policy now where our board has asked us to get a referral fee for the cover the processing costs of these referrals from care facilities. And so I have a copy of the letter that's going to introduce that new policy to our community partners, and also a sample of the invoice that we would send along with it. So my process would be kind of similar to JFS in that when I send the invoice, it would have a copy of the referral attached to it so they know what the invoice is for. So we would get the referral from them, we respond with sending the letter, a copy of the invoice with their referral attached, and then ask them if they want us to move forward to please agree to pay that referral fee. And then with the referral fee, we would pay the clerk's fees and costs, and then we cover our own time in terms of preparing and filing documents and attending the hearing. So that's the procedure I'd like to propose, and happy to discuss it and get any input on it.
I just want to say that I really appreciate the time that you put into doing this. I know we've been talking about this for a while. I've had the opportunity to review the letter and the invoice before today, and I'm in agreement with it. I have no concerns about what we have listed here. Annie, do you have any concerns?
I have no concerns. I agree with Amy on this.
Okay. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
You know, when I thought about doing an MOU, because that's kind of how we talked about it at first, I thought, well, this is gonna be a nightmare, because every nursing home's gonna either want to amend it or do their own MOU.
Right.
And that's not how we do it with JFS, so I thought, you know, this is straightforward, they're giving us a referral, you know, we're going to take the referral and do what we always do. We can just invoice them and it's cleaner, so, yeah.
I'm on board
I
with
think the
that.
MOU would be a nice.
Absolutely. All
Thank
right,
you.
I'm gonna put forth a motion to approve this procedure for guardianship referral application for nursing facilities.
So moved.
Thank you, and I will second it, so therefore this has been approved by the board.
Okay, so we will go ahead and start implementing that then.
Thank you.
All right, well, gosh, I know it's only 10:16, but.
That's what we call efficiency, Diana.
We've kind of run through my laundry list. I've always liked short board meetings. But, you know, if there's any new topics or any areas of discussion that you'd like to bounce around now, we certainly have the time to do it.
I don't think I have anything. Do you have anything,
I
Kim?
don't.
I'll open it up once more to public comments if anybody else has anything that feels they need to be addressed.
I will send out, as soon as I get the draft MOU from the court as it concerns the probate court's proposed financing arrangement, I'll send it out to everybody and then we can kind of digest it and maybe formulate some questions before we meet, since we won't be meeting again until May, so.
Okay. Do you think we'll be able to maybe vote on that by May?
I don't necessarily think we'll need to meet before May to discuss that because it's not something where,
No, that's what I was asking. Do you think at the May meeting we'll be able to have that solidified?
that's my plan, yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, I think the draft MOU will be presented to us shortly within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, great.
So as soon as I get it, I'll send it out and then we'll get everybody's input on it.
Wonderful. And we can address that in the May meeting.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Anything
Hearing
else?
nothing further, can I get a motion to adjourn? I will second it. We are adjourned at 10:17. That might be the most productive meeting I've ever had.
I love that.